friends, I'm Jody. Welcome back to This Beaded Life. I am here. I have something new, well, new to me to share with you guys. A company had reached out to us via email and wanted us to show you guys some beads. So they let me pick out some beads, and I want to show you what I picked out and see what you guys think. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around, and we're going to talk about the company. I'm going to talk about the beads that I received, and see what you guys think, and we'll make something. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I'm back, and I have my stuff with me, and the name of the company is Globleland. I first had heard about it because my friend Laura got approached with a promotion too. So, and that was a while back. And anyway, so I had heard of them, but I've never got to get anything from them. So this was the first time I got to receive something from them. They are online, so it's Globleland.com. I'll actually have the link in the description right below this video. So I'm also going to have the links to the 4 items that I chose, and that way if you're wanting any of those items, they're going to be right there for you. I already went online today and I checked stock, and it looked like stock looked really good for each one of these items. So if you're wanting to do it, then you can just go right there and pick up what you want. So the first thing I want to show you is something that I have been wanting to get for a long time. I love the Tibetan style beads. So I have in my hand 50 Tibetan style beads. So these have brass, they're handmade, and they are gorgeous. There's so many different shapes and sizes. The sizes in here range from 12 to 25 by 8 to 13 millimeters. Okay, and for 50 beads, it's $9.28. So let me just put these down. So there's 50 of them. And there's some in here that I'm like super intrigued by. Like, look at this one. It's kind of like a rondelle, kind of like a little saucer bead. And it's just really, really cool. It has all those little colors like inlaid in the bead. There's some cube shaped ones. There's some barrel shaped ones. Really, really cool. So I'm really looking forward to making like a really fun necklace out of these. These are really, really cool. So next I have 4x3 apatite. And these are really, really pretty. So here they are, beautiful apatite gemstones. They are faceted and just gorgeous. You're getting a lot of those very rich blues in there, and even some of the browns that come naturally in the stone. You get one strand, which one strand, I believe had like 50 or more beads on it. Anyway, but it's $4.30 for these beautiful gemstones. So just to give you an idea, let's measure the strand. My strand's a little tangled. Let's measure the strand. I'm thinking it's about a 14 or 15 inch strand. It is a 15-inch strand. So very long strand, and very beautiful gemstone. So I have that. Then next I was super intrigued by this. So this is a grade AA 4mm garnet. And again, it's going to be another long strand. Oh, 2 strands. So let's see how long these strands are. I think this has got to be 15 inches too. Yep. So 2 strands, beautiful. And they are $6.02 each. So I got 2 strands of grade A garnet, 4mm garnet, for $6.02 each. Absolutely beautiful. And then my last item that I chose is just a little glass beads They are 7 by 3.5 millimeters. So they're like your little rice beads. And I just fell in love with the colors because there's so many different colors on it. And I kind of just want to string it the way it is because it's beautiful. These are just cute little glass beads. And they are 99 cents a strand. So I think that's a really amazing deal. So there is shipping charges, and it kind of works the same as other companies that are based overseas. So, but I do have a coupon code. It's Wendy10, and I do have all the links that go right directly to these items, as well as the link that just goes to the website. So even if you didn't love all these items and you didn't really care but to get the ones that I got, you can still go to the site and do some shopping for yourself. The one thing I do recommend is because it's a little bit further away and it takes a little bit of time to get here, you don't want to like sleep on something. If you see something that you love, you're going to want to get it because the stock can dwindle pretty quickly because these prices are phenomenal. So, but like I said, I went on today and double checked. Today is the 17th. Okay. So you're going to want to click on the link. It'll take you right directly to it. You can look at and see how many it says we have in stock. But yeah, anyway, so I'm really excited to use these. I'm really excited to work with them to see, you know, how well I love them and how often I could possibly shop with them. So anyway, I'm all about finding places to shop. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and I'm going to get some stuff together and I think we're going to make something really, really beautiful. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a multi-strand bracelet, but we're going to join them together with these huge, large spacer beads. I got these a couple years ago on Auntie's Beads, and same with these large bead caps. So they're going to be like 3 strands, but we're going to have a couple of those big fat ones in between to hold them all together. And we are going to use some of each bead that I got. I brought some spacers from my stash. So we have the glass beads, we have the Tibetan style handmade beads, the apatite and the garnets. And I also have a clasp, a couple eye pins, plenty of crimp beads, and I think we are ready to roll. My desk is still a mess from last night. So I'm really excited about putting this together. I'm really excited to give them a try and for you guys to see them too. So let's go ahead and plan out this bracelet. So the thing I do know that I want to do is I know that I want to strategically place like 3 of these and have the beads be on either side. We'll use some little antique copper spacer beads to go in the middle. So we're going to have to kind of place this a little bit more strategic. So I'm up for the challenge. I think we can handle it. And then of course the smaller beads at the end to go inside this to kind of encase it all together, and then our clasp on either end. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside because I'm going to hit them with my elbow. I know I will. And I will end up sending them all flying, and then I'll be sad because I'll have to pause it and I'll be really, really sad. So, excuse me. So I'm going to cut some bead stringing wire. Actually, I have some. I cut this one by mistake and I didn't need this one. So let's see what we can get out of here. So I'm going to do the same length for each one. I'll measure out a length. I'm making it a little bit larger. I'm making the strand a little bit larger for error, okay? Because you guys know that I like to give myself more than normal because there's a few videos that I did before where I did not have enough bead stringing wire, and yeah, that was frustrating. So, so I want to give myself plenty to work with. And I am cutting off almost 11 inches, so like 10 3/4 inches. Let's look at a little kink in it. So that'll smooth out with all the beads. And so let's just go ahead and cut another piece, and it doesn't look like I'm going to have another piece long enough, but I will save that because I can make an asymmetrical bracelet from that little piece there and use some chain or whatever later. And then let me get my little, look at, almost empty. There's something satisfying about having an empty wheel. It's like, ooh, I made a lot of stuff out of that. But then you're like, oh, I got to get more. I do have more coming, so I'm not too worried about it, in the antique bronze color. All right, so we have our 3 strands. And I think we have to make this from the middle going out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my drawer, get out a little bead bug. We'll get out a few bead bugs because just in case. So I have some little stoppers here. And I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put one of these spacers on here, okay? So on this really huge bead, this big spacer. All right, so that's going to go right there in the middle. I've been wanting to use these forever, and I just never used them. I bought them on Auntie's Beads like a couple years ago. By the way, if you're looking to get large hole beads like this, that is a good place. I haven't checked Globleland for any large hole spacers, but I will do that after the video. And I'll let you guys know probably on my next Globleland video if I find any on there. And so that might be an option for you too. So I will double check that. So we're just going to, on each one of these, put 3 little antique copper or antique bronze, like little round spacers. There's 2. Some of these are stuck together, so I'll have to take my cutters and just cut them open, cut them apart. Okay, there's 3. And then we have 3 on this one. I inherited, like, not inherited, but like I ended up buying stuff from Wendy, when Chris was selling everything. And in one of my packages that I bought was this ginormous bag of these spacers. And I'm like, I will not have to buy these spacers for a very long time. But I know she was selling stuff like that on her website too. So it's probably what it came from. All right, so we have those in there, and it's just gonna make it so it doesn't jiggle around, okay? It's still gonna be able to move until we put larger beads on. But what we're going to do, well, first thing I'm gonna do is we are going to grab all 3. I just wanna make sure all of them are like where they're supposed to be, because I don't wanna have too much going on one side and not on the other. We're gonna clamp off one of, like, this one whole side right about here, okay? Excuse me, guys, sorry. It's like, I want to say it's that time of year for allergies, but it's always that time of year for allergies for me. Like, I'm always like, I swear, I always have like an allergy issue. And I don't know if some of these will fit 3 strands in it, but I want to kind of, oh, and it does. Excuse me, I'm going to start out with one of these on 3 strands. So it'll go like this, okay? And then we're going to do, then we're going to do some smaller beads. So I want to thread on a few garnets. Come on, get on there. I want to bring my spacers a little bit closer to me. So let's do a few garnets. On this one. Oh my goodness. Let's do a few apatite on one of these. And then I want to do a couple of these. And I think we're gonna pick this like, it's almost like an orangey red. So let's do a couple of these. All right, and let's see what that brings us. That brings us down pretty close to our end of our bead there, which I'm happy with that. That looks good. So it's gonna kind of sit together like that, kind of a little bit bunchy, but I think really cool. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna use another one of our bigger beads here. And I think I wanna use, I like these big round ones like this. Let's put all 3 strands in there. Kind of feel like we might need, let's see. No, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I wonder if it would make a difference if I put one of these little guys on. What did I do with them? And I think I could fit 3 strands through one of these spacers. And I can, good deal. So if I put one of these on, it's just gonna kind of keep them together, all right? Now you probably will see a little bit of the antique bronze wire here and there, but I'm okay with that because this is an antique bronze piece. So it's okay to see a little bit of wire sometimes. And then from there, I want to put one of these big beads on. String that right on. And keep it kind of pushed together a little bit. It's going to be very colorful. And then I want to put on some more of these spacers so that way we can put another one of our large hole spacer on there. So let's do 3 on each one. Okay, there's 2 of them. And let's put that spacer on. And it's just gonna hug right up against that round, that really pretty round bead there. And then we're gonna do another one of these beads. And I'm just trying to pick some that I know I have like kind of doubles of, just so that I can kind of keep it a little bit uniform. So we're gonna pick this like little flying saucer looking one and just put that right up against there. Just like that. I almost feel like I only need 2. Let's see. Because that one is kind of pointy, so it's gonna rest on the inside. And the only reason why we're putting those copper beads inside of there is just so that it doesn't bounce around, you know? And it just kind of helps kind of cushion it a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So I only needed 2 right there, and I might take a couple off this other end here because since that's resting on the inside. And then let's just put one of those copper beads right here on all 3 strands, like that. And then we're going to do some more of our little beads. So let's grab 3 of the apatite. All right, let's do 3 of the garnet. Oh, come on. There we go. And then I want to do 2 of these yellow ones. goodness. All right. So now we're going to take a clamp and we're just going to clamp this because I want to start on this other side over here. So let's just go ahead and clamp this for now. Just like that. I'll unclamp this one. And it looks like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to use another one like that. If I would even need the spacer beads in between, because it looks like it's sitting on top of those really nice. So let's not waste our spacer beads. And yeah, see how it fits like all the way in? I think that's going to be good. So let's do the same thing with this one. Let's put that right in there. So that's what it's going to end up looking like. I just wanted it to be like really cool looking, a lot of color, just very vivid and a lot of fun. So we have those. We have not used, let's use these. I don't know if I want to do blue. Let's do this other red. Like not the orangey red, but the regular red. So we're going to need 2 of those. Okay, we need 3 garnets. It kind of looks like a hot mess when you're making it, you guys, but I think once it's done, I think we'll be surprised about how pretty it is. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I'm thinking positive. It's going to turn out exactly the way I envisioned it in my head. I just know it will. Okay, so we got those on, and now we can take one of our spacers, just like we did on the other side here. All right, and let's find another round one. So that's been a little bit smaller. I don't want the smaller one. There we go, that's a bigger one. And it looks a little bit different than this one, so that's gonna be fine. I don't mind that at all. I actually kind of welcome that. All right, so we have that. And then we're going to go ahead and put on probably just, like I said, we're only gonna need maybe like 2 of our little spacers on each one. Oops, I was trying to put 3 on there after I said 2. You guys, I want to tell you thank you so much for all your unbelievable support. I absolutely love hearing from you guys and hearing your feedback and everything. I absolutely love it. And you know, I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're going to hurt my feelings if they have, you know, if they're telling me something that's going on with the video that's not quite right. And I'm so glad that you guys do speak out and tell me things, because I mean, once I send it off, like I don't upload it. If I was uploading it, it would be for my own channel. Chris does all the uploading because it's not my channel. So, unfortunately, you know, like things can slip through, like he could miss it, I could miss it. But if you guys tell us about it, like as quickly as you do, we can usually fix most things. So, I really appreciate that you guys like let somebody know something right away. I really appreciate it. And that you guys are so graceful too. I mean, you know, you laugh it off, just so forgiving and graceful. I absolutely love it. It just makes me so happy to be part of this little bead family that we have. All right, so most of you know that I have my own like bead website. Well, not website, but Facebook page. And I built it a long time ago when I was selling more jewelry, but now my focus has shifted to tutorials. I would still like to do that, so I want to keep that separate. But I thought about doing a space where you guys can post things and stuff like that. And I would really like to do that. So that way we can all like hang out together. We can post things, you know, for each other to see. Like you guys can show me things that you're working on, and you can show all your other bead friends what you're working on. You know, give you a space that, you know, we can all like just hang out together. And I was thinking about doing that, and I know I've had the question from some of you if I was ever going to do that, and I said at some point yes, but I want to know, like, what do you guys really think of that? Do you think that would be cool? Would that be something you'd want me to do? Let me know what you think. Okay, so we have just about enough here. So what I think we're going to do, let's see, because we got to put the cones on too. So we're going to end up beading up some more, okay? Just a little bit. Oh, I just dropped those off there, didn't I? Sure did. All right. So that's what happens when you play with fire, Jody. All right, so let's just put these back on really quick. And I will put, actually, I think we're just going to bead straight up from here because we're going to close off each of these individually. So let's put what we want to be visible right here. All right. Wonderful. Yeah, and I think that we're only going to need maybe like, let's see, how big are these? Probably gonna need about 4 spacers on each one of these. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the same thing over here. I feel like I could like create a disaster today. Like I keep bumping things and yeah, I'm kind of a mess today, you guys. I think I say that on every video. You guys probably think I'm just a mess all the time at this point. So I've been now on doing stuff on YouTube for a year, like just over a year. And like, I'm shocked. I honestly didn't think I would last this long. Like, I thought that maybe I would have like moved on or given up at some point and been like, nope, done. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. But I absolutely still love it. So that's a good thing. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to make some little loops here. I'm not going to use a wire guardian. It just takes up a lot of space. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put it through one of these beads here. And we're going to pull that down just a little bit because we're going to use some gravity to make this work for us too. All right. So we're going to make, we don't want our loops to be too big. So I'm making my loops about this big because what's going to happen is all 3 are going to go inside of this hook here, okay, for my head pin or my eye pin. And then we're going to take our crimp pliers. We're going to crimp it down, each one of these. All right, now I can drop that one. Grab another crimp bead. Do the same thing here. Just flip that through. And I want this to be like the same length, and I want my hoop to be around the same size. So we're just going to position our crimp bead going up like this, and it's roughly the same size. So we're gonna go ahead and crimp it. Like so. And we got this one. Do the same thing. I always feel like it's like this is the behind the scenes stuff, right? Like the things that you're not going to see in the jewelry at all. Like the end user would never see what's underneath this unless it, you know, for some reason, God forbid, it fell apart. But I mean, like, hopefully that doesn't happen. But it's kind of makes me giggle a little bit. Like, you know, we have all these like little trade secrets, and we know how we can make things work. And I think it's really, really cool that we like have that ability to do that kind of stuff. All right, so now I'm just gonna kind of feed these beads right here through. We're gonna adjust this whole entire bracelet. This is like a little bit of a process, but it's gonna be worth it. In fact, we can just cut those off because we're not gonna need them. All right. So let's just not fool with those little tails today. There we go. And there we go. All right. So like I said, we're going to take those three ends, open up our eye pin. We're going to stick all three of these through here. Again, we're going to do some wire adjusting here as soon as I get this all stable. All right. Then we're going to close up our eye pin. Make sure it's closed all the way. You don't want one of those little guys sneaking out of there. Just make sure it's nice and closed. You know, your wire will find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, right? So then we're going to put one of these little spacer beads on the end right here. And it's just going to give like a little spot for this to land. All right, is what it's going to do. So it's just going to land right on top of those. Actually, I think maybe, you know what? It's skinny enough at the top. Yeah, we don't want to use that. Okay. But what we can do is we can put it here and kind of put a little end to our little guy here. All right, so now what we're going to do is, because I want this to be super secure, I'm going to do a wire wrap loop on this. So I'm just gonna grab my eye pin right here next to that bead and just fold it over my round nose pliers and then bring it back over the top and back underneath, okay? And then we will use our bent nose pliers wherever I hid them. For some reason, they're always on the other side of my desk while I keep everything else on the other side of my desk, and I don't understand how that happens. All right, switching it over to this hand because I work better this way. And we are going to just wrap this around. Just taking our time. Wrap it around, just like so. All right, cut off what we don't need. Let's squish that down to make sure it's not gonna hurt anybody or catch on a nice good sweater or something and ruin it. Let's squish that down. All right, so now let's go ahead and adjust all these down. So we're just going to start from the end here. We're just going to pull that down. And it takes a minute because you have a lot of strands. So just be patient with it. You know, just kind of keep working it down. And this one has like a little bit too much slack on the one strand. So I'm just going to do some tugging on each one of these real quick. make sure I got them even. All right. So I'm going to squish that down in there. There we go. But not squish it too hard to where it makes it like bow out. You want it to be kind of together. And then just do the rest of it. Just a little bit at a time. Just work it down. You can always adjust. All right. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and now I'm gonna put you down just for a second, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I have a dilemma. I don't like this cone, so we're gonna make a change. When you see something you don't like and it's just sitting with you, and you're like, no, I can't do that. That's why I had to like pause it for a second, because I didn't want you guys to sit there while my wheels were turning, and I've decided I'm just not a fan of that cone. So we're gonna fix that. All right. So let me show you what we're going to do. And our loops are going to stay intact in there on our underneath. Okay. But we are going to go ahead and cut this off. We just decided that, you know what? Not a fan. If it was smaller, like a smaller cone, I would do it in a heartbeat. But for some reason, it's just too wide, and it's not making me have the warm and fuzzies. So now I'm going to try to be really careful and only cut that, because unfortunately it's just too small for me to get in with some pliers. All right. So now we have that off there. Let's not lose my beads on the other end. And we are going to use a jump ring. And I'm going to use a smaller one. Find a smaller one here. See, make sure I have two that size. Oh yeah, they're right. Yep, there's another one. Okay, because we're gonna need twin jump rings. So let's go ahead and open up this little jump ring here. So this is what happens when you start making something and your vision doesn't quite come together, and you're like, no, I can't do it. I can't leave it like that. I cannot have. I will not sleep tonight knowing that I left it in that condition. You know what I mean? So we're going to fix this. I'm going to put these on a jump ring, just like that. And then we're just gonna let that sit for a minute. Once I get it closed, because now we need to do the same thing over on this end. See, I already like that so much better. And we're gonna have a bigger jump ring on there for our clasp. But anyway, so now let's go ahead and we did 4 of those spacers on each one. So I'm just gonna grab out a little pile here, and let's do 4. Have you ever done that? You made something and you get to the end part and you're like, that's just not going to be what I wanted. So no, we're not doing that. We're going to do this end the same way we did the other end, and close it off the exact same way. There's 3, and there's 4, and then let's put 4 on this one, so I'll need a couple more. There we go. All right, so now that we have that, let's grab our crimps, and we're gonna put those on. And we're just gonna do the same thing here, except for we're gonna go down to the bead, right, with our crimp. So I'm gonna stick it through a couple of these beads down here. And I'll show you a little thing of what I do to make this work. I put my round nose pliers in and I just pull it down because I want to make sure that this is snug as a bug in a rug. All right, so now it is. And now we can crimp this one. So I'm just gonna come in. Did I lose beads? I did. And there we go. You know, I don't know, it had to have been a couple years ago. I was doing some beading and I had like all my stuff like done, you know, and I had like trays like this and it was all teeny tinies. Okay. Like I did a 3-strand teeny tiny bead necklace and it was painstakingly long and agonizing, yet fulfilling, and the necklace turned out amazing. It was so beautiful. I spent a lot of time on it, and I just flung more beads. I spent a lot of time on it, and I was so proud of it. And it was all ruined by one thing, and it wasn't my beads came off the other end. It was I hit one tray, just one tray with my one hand, and it acted like dominoes. Like it ran into another tray, and then I kind of panicked, so I went to grab at it because I didn't want it to spill everywhere, and I ended up knocking over 2 more trays. I had 4 trays, half spilled, little teeny tiny beads, bouncing and rolling all over my room, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, this isn't happening. This just ruined my whole, like it took the wind out of my sails, you guys. Like I felt so defeated. The only thing I could do was get a broom and sweep the entire floor to find all my little beads. And I still like never found them all. And like every time I sweep, I swear to you, one of those little beads shows up. And I'm like, where were you? This happened so long ago. How are you like surfacing? Where have you been hiding? And I don't understand it. Sometimes I really wish this room had carpet in it, or at least a big area rug. Like I think I'm going to get a big area rug because then I feel like they would at least stop bouncing and rolling. But it hits the hardwood floor and I feel like they just bounce and roll forever. And they like go into like these little cracks and then just like resurface like 2 or 3 years later. And you're like, I haven't used those beads in 3 years. Where are they coming from? All right. Okay, so now we got all those. Let's trim off these tails. I just wanted to get it all secured, so I stopped flinging beads off the end of my strand. All right. So now we have all that taken care of. And we got some good flexibility in here. That's important. We want some good flexibility, right? Like this top one that goes on the top of your wrist, it doesn't matter if that's real flexible, but you want the rest to go around your wrist pretty easily. So let's put our small jump ring on that. Let's check something real quick. I want to see. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. It's going to be a little bit big, but that's okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put our little jump ring right here on this end with our lobster clasp. I just have a large antique copper lobster clasp, and we're going to put that on there. And then we're going to use a bigger jump ring, but we don't need one that big. We use like that size maybe. And that is going to be what our bracelet is going to hook into. And I kind of feel like I'm not done. I feel like it needs something, like 1 or 2 little charms. And I think I might have the perfect ones. Hold on one. Okay, I think I found the 2 that I wanted to use. This is my only wing, so I want to use that. kind we're mixing a little antique copper with a little antique bronze, but you know what? I like it. And we're gonna hook them on this jump ring right here. So just like that. And as a matter of fact, I think, no, we're good. That's what I want to do. Okay. And I have this cute little skeleton key I thought would be really, really cool on there. And just like that. Oh, get on there. All right, so there is our bracelet. I'm going to put it on. Like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit big, but that's okay. If anything, I can always switch out this to a smaller lobster clasp. So let's put it on. Yeah, it's a little bit big, but that's okay. I'm okay with it being a little bit baggy. Like I said, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put it on this wrist because I usually wear bracelets up over top of my watch. So let's just make sure this fits over here correctly. And all right. So yep, I think I will switch out my clasp because even on this side, I think the small clasp would be better. But either way, it turned out really cute and I absolutely love it. So I hope you guys like this. Again, if you're looking to get the beads that I used in this video, just head over to the description and I have all the links there for you. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye.